Hello, everybody. Anyone watching or not? I also don't know. Okay, hi guys. Hi everyone. Okay, give me a second. Let me just quickly share this. Let me quickly just share the link on the Facebook and hopefully get more people coming in. I'm very excited tonight having a live stream. Uh beginning of the year I was just wondering to myself, it's like how am I going to use this indirect resource here? So I thought, okay, indirect resource is experimental, it's experiential, cool. So was thinking, why not? Why not? Why not? Instead of being a bloody swaku, right? Instead of being a swaku and patsu all the time, I just figured that hey, you know what? Let's explore this amazing and vast universe that is metaphysics, not just Chinese metaphysics. So give me a second. Let me share on Facebook, and then I'm all with you. Okay, obviously Peng can't multitask one, no, cannot talk and type at the same time. Okay, so all right, so the what was I? Yes, don't be a swaku. Okay, so I decided that yeah, let's explore this other genres, other fields of study. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all colleagues, right? And I was fortunate enough to get in connected with the wonderful Jen Torres. We collaborated together on her podcast. It's called She's a God. All right, you guys check it out. It's on Spotify and Apple Tunes, I think. And so now I'm returning the favor. So please welcome everybody, the one, the only Jen Torres. Hi, Jen.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Good
Good
morning.
morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm ready. It's freezing cold where I am. There's inches of snow outside, so I'm wide awake.
Good. Good. So now I have a surprise guest, okay? When you say Lang Loi show up, of course he will show up also. Okay, everybody, Jonas is a surprise guest. Hi Jonas. Got Lang
How
Loi you
can
come
I
ah.
miss this? Because
Ah,
especially when a beautiful girl
you're
here
not interested. Yes, you're
and
not
she's
interested
also
in
sharing
human
a human
design.
design part, which I almost wanted to dive into discover more because I'm seeing
Really?
the 64 hexagram and how the flow of internal energy and how all this stuff actually,
It's
this is like
fascinating.
mix of
Mm.
both world. So it got
Yes,
me intrigued.
Mm.
it's fascinating. I mean, Jen, why don't you share with us how you got into what you're doing now?
Okay,
Yeah.
so my journey, it started with just a podcast. It's really like it was so simple. It was like a spiritual podcast, and I was listening to it, and these girls were talking about human design. And of course, you all know, like when you hear something and you just get like a feeling inside about it, like I need to know more about what this is. That's exactly what happened. So then from there, I started learning more and more, and I ended up getting double certified in human design, and then I just kept going deeper into the learnings and the teachings. And what's so fascinating about it too is that you will like never get bored with it because there's so much to learn that you just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into the design. So yeah, that's how I got started with it.
Amazing. So, guys, we have got the link for the to plot your own human design chart. So, and it's in the video description. I'm blonking it into the comments as well. Feel free to plot your chart because we very soon we're going to deep dive into the energy. But first, Jen, how about sharing with us what is human design for the benefit of those who don't know?
Yeah, so it is helpful to have a little bit of a base of an understanding of where this comes from. It started several decades ago in 1987 with a man named Ra Ruhu, who actually was on an 8-day meditation in Ibiza. And he ended up going into a really deep meditation and started downloading this information. So I know right away that can sound pretty woo, like that's a lot of channeling sometimes can be very mystical to some people if they don't understand it, but that's actually where the information initially all came together. But ultimately, what he was able to gather from this download is that by using these very ancient systems that have been around for thousands of years, like the I Ching, like quantum physics, epigenetics, the Kabbalah tree of life, all of these various aspects of different modalities that date way, way back, by combining them, you can actually pull what's called your energetic blueprint. So it's literally like you just go online and you can go to jovianarchive.com is the website I recommend. And from there, you can pull a free human design chart, also known as a body graph. And from there, you can just see like, oh, wow, cool. If I just enter in my birth date, birth time, birth location, I'm able to see my body graph. And I'm going to say right away that a lot of times what happens is people pull this design and they get very overwhelmed right away because it looks like, oh my gosh, what am I looking at? Similar to the work that Paulynne does in her charts. And sometimes you pull that and you're like, what is this? Like, it's what am I going to do with all this? So what I recommend is just starting slow, like start with the top of the chart, really understanding the basics. And then from there, moving down. And I can also provide some resources for various websites and apps that people can download just to get started with this process. But that's kind of the general history of human design. And it's kind of taken off from there, like where different people have honed in on the system, learned the system, and are teaching it, using their own energy. So it's very unique. If you start to learn about human design, you'll see that people teach it in different ways. And it's not that the information is different. It's just that there's a different energy behind it. So you'll find who resonates with you and which people feel good, where the information is digestible and it feels like you're actually understanding it and you're able to anchor it in. And then you can go from there in that learning.
Brilliant. So, it sounds a lot like what we do in bazi, right, Jonas? It's about how we use the energy of the chart and how we use the energy. What do you think?
Yeah, because it's quite crucial for us to first understand how our own inborn energy works. So therefore, we also wish to combine multiple disciplinary together. But as what
Mm,
Jen already mentioned, because human design combine multiple disciplinary and multiple aspect, and indeed different practitioner will have their own perspective, and because they were coming from different background, so therefore it is our role to discover whichever is relevant and whichever we are synchronized and aligned with. So but first, being able to discover your own energy, how you self work are crucial. So I think, yeah, human design has been quite fascinating because but it's very deep as much as I discover
yeah, I
looking
think
at a
I think
chart.
so. It's very deep. Anyway, for those of you who are joining us for this live stream, please say hi in the chat. The chat is quite quiet. Why is everybody also suddenly so shy? Yeah. Okay. So how I think if I must admit I'm really new to human design. So in my very limited understanding, there are basically five types of energy. Am I right?
Yes. So one like really easy way to start to like decipher like what is this and like how can I actually use this in my life is to understand that ultimately what we're talking about here is your aura. So if you're somebody who's not too familiar with the aura or you don't know what that is, basically it's just the energy that we are emitting from our bodies. So there's no secret that we are energetic beings and that we emit a certain type of energy as we walk around. And it's actually been scientifically proven now that we have this aura and it stretches out about 6 feet around us. And that's sort of the reason why sometimes you can meet someone and feel like, I don't know why I don't know this person, but I don't really like them, or something about their energy is off and it's like turning me off. I don't know. That's what the aura is. So really, it's about first understanding that we all have this aura. And then it's about understanding that the blueprint that you look at when you pull your chart and you pull your body graph, that's the breakdown of the aura. So that's actually telling you, what is this aura that I have? What it's the science of the aura, and it's explaining in a deeper level what it is, this energy that you're walking around with and you're sort of bumping into everybody with. And then to take it into a little bit deeper than that, it's really about knowing that everything in the universe is energy, right? So the plants, the animals, the trees, the air, everything has its own energetic blueprint. So it's about then taking it even further than that and saying, okay, like I have my own energy. Everything around me has its own energy. If I understand my body graph and my energetic blueprint more deeply, I can actually start to live my life in a totally different way. If I just understand the way that I'm designed, human design, the way that I'm designed to use my energy every day when I wake up in the morning, I'm designed to use my energy in this way. What's going to happen is you're going to start noticing that you begin creating this energetic shift in your life. And first, it starts very subtle, where you start following your design, following your energy type, your strategy, your authority, which we'll get into. And then you realize, like, oh, just by kind of doing these little tweaks to the way that I approach life, I'm realizing that everything else around me is operating so much more easy and more energetic flow. So the idea behind human design is that if you follow your energetic blueprint and you follow your body graph, you will actually open up more energetic magnetism in your life. And human design actually believes that we are not here to meet resistance in our lives. And a lot of people can hear that and be like, that's crazy. We're here to learn. Of course, we're supposed to meet resistance.
Preach. I
Yes.
buy. I buy that.
But what actually it's saying is like, yeah, sure, we're going to come up against roadblocks in our life, of course. But it's saying that there's a way that we can use our energy by our design in a way that when we are operating life, we're doing it in a way where even if we meet resistance, it doesn't feel like resistance. It just is a recognizable block, and you're using your design to operate that. And then you start just moving blocks out of the way. And then all of a sudden you realize, like, wow, life feels easier. It doesn't feel like so hard to like get where I need to be, or to find love, or to be successful, or to find, what my soul path is, let's say. So really, this is just, when it comes down to it, it's freedom, it's sovereignty, it's being able to open up a way to use life and your own specific energy that's going to open up so much more flow in your life where you're not meeting that resistance anymore.
Absolutely. I totally resonate with that. I'm sure Jonas shares it as well, because when we do puzzle consults, a lot of the time it is us convincing the person that, listen, you're not a slave to the chart. Okay. So Beng Swan is asking, is everyone's auras different from each other?
Yes. So there are 5 main energy types. And so that's what we're going to kind of cover today. And we're just going to just kind of dip into each one and kind of just a couple of minutes on each one, just to sort of describe what each aura is. And then I'll invite you to go ahead and pull your human design chart on jobianarchive.com, or I can do it for you as well from my phone, and we can see what aura you have. And then we can go a little bit deeper to maybe provide some more guidance to people toward the end, if that's okay. But really,
Of course.
is it, if I put something in the chat, will people see it?
Should be, yes.
Okay.
Post it in the comments.
Yeah, as long as you
Under
can,
post
yeah,
post a
put
comment.
in, you can
Yeah.
see the comment, you can just type it in,
Oh, I
it
see.
should work.
Oh, I have to connect first to YouTube, so
Ah,
I
yes,
won't do
you have
that
to
because
connect.
I might end up leaving on accident or something. So I'll wait, but it is Joby and Archive, so it's J.
I did. I put it up. It's in the
Oh, you
chat,
did.
guys, and also
Oh,
in
perfect.
the video description.
Okay, cool.
So go
So
ahead. All right. Plot your human design chart, because Lang Lui offer to do free reading, for heaven's sake, guys. Come on now.
Yes, yes. That's so good. Yeah, so look at your human design, start to pull that. And of course, like I mentioned, when you first pull it, don't get afraid of it. Just know that, just focus on that top part, because that's really what I'm about to talk about right now, that top part of your chart. So let's look at the first top left-hand side of your chart. You'll see it says energy type. That's the first thing you're going to see when you look at your chart. And so the first energy type I want to quickly talk about here is being a manifestor in human design. So there are a total of 5 types. There's the manifestor, the manifesting generator, the projector, and the reflector. Manifestors are about 8% of the population. Oh, hi. I got a thumbs up somehow. So I don't know where that came from. So manifestors are about 8% of the population, and then manifesting generators, which is the other type, is about 37% of the population. Generators are about 32% of the population, and projectors are about 22% of the population right now, and then reflectors are about 1%. Okay, so I want to start with manifestors being only 8% of the population. Your aura, that aura I was talking about at the beginning, that energy that goes out, is described as closed and impactful. And so I just want to explain a little what I mean by that. When I say closed and impactful, that means that there's a side of your energy that actually makes it difficult for people to feel you. So a lot of times with manifestors, they can realize in their life that like people are always trying to like understand them, like pry information out of them and ask a lot of questions and be like, or else people can get annoyed with them maybe sometimes and just be like, okay, forget you. I don't know what you want. It's just that because they have this closed side of their auric field, other people have a hard time feeling them. They don't feel them the way they can feel other people. It's a little bit hard to gauge them. So that's why as a manifestor, your strategy to do life is to inform. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you're literally designed to use your throat chakra as much as possible and speak out what it is that you're thinking, because you have this close side to your auric field where it's hard for people to gauge you. I have a friend who's a manifestor and owns a business. When she realized this, that she's a manifestor, it opened up so much for her, because she realized that her employees, it's not that they were, asking her so many questions to try to like control her or put her in a corner or tell her what to do. It's just that they couldn't understand her. They didn't know what she wanted. They couldn't gauge what it is that she was feeling. So when she started using her strategy of informing and always kind of saying like, I'm really tired right now. I think I'm going to like leave early today, or I don't feel good, so I'm going to like be in my office for the rest of the day. When she just started telling people how she felt, other people are like, oh, cool, do whatever you want. Yeah, they got her, and her life started becoming so much easier because everything just started opening up. Now, that's just one type, being a manifestor, and that's just a small example of that. I did mention that the manifestor's aura is closed, right? That's why they have to inform, and impactful. So I just want to add that manifestors are extremely dynamic individuals. They're people who are here that by nature, even though they don't mean to, they are very impactful in nature. When they say things, when they do things, it's very emanating to people. People remember, even if they're just, I don't know, have a short conversation with somebody in a store, that person a month later might still kind of think about that conversation. Like, that was really interesting. So they just tend to have this more impactful aspect about them with other people. So that's
How many manifestors do we have with us? How many? Jonah, do you plot your chart? Jonah, tell what are you?
It as I think as I remember, I was a manifesting generator.
Yay! That so is
Another
Paulynne.
one. Another one.
That means all 3 of us are manifesting
That
generators.
means all 3 of us are manifesting generators.
Mhm.
You think there must be something about metaphysics that pulls in manifesting
Yeah, is
generators? Are
that three
there
harmony or what?
any manifestors in the house? All right. If
Yes.
not, shall we? Are we done with manifestors? Shall we move on to the next one?
Yes. Let's, if you're okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
what's the next one that we're gonna be so that we can call out? What's
So
the
the
next one you
next
want to talk about?
one, yeah, the next one is a generator in human design. So
Okay,
that's going to be about 37% of the population.
that's a
So
lot.
yeah, so generators in human design are um after I talk about generators, I'm going to talk about manifesting generators, and you'll see how the MGs are actually a combination of the manifestor and generator. So you can keep that in mind as I'm talking about the generator, because ultimately the manifesting generator has the same exact aura as the generator, which is what I'm about to talk about right now. So the generator in human design is about 37% of the population, and their aura is described as open and enveloping. That just means that when people meet you, it feels good. It feels like they want to talk to you. You feel warm. They're like, hey, they want to like connect with you. It's like feels good. And then for generators, particularly, they have what's called a defined sacral center. So, what does this mean actually? This means that they hold the life force energy of the planet. And that can sound very like, what does that actually mean? This just means that they tend to have this motor on the inside of them that keeps them kind of going all the time and generating new energy, but it's based off of what they love in their life. Okay, so it's very deeply connected to doing what they love. Same with the manifesting generator. They have an open and enveloping aura with this defined sacral center that has the life force energy deeply connected to doing what they love in their life. So, all this is really saying is a generator and a manifesting generator can really like go harder than anybody else in terms of like working and doing and putting their energy toward things, but it's directly connected to doing what they love in their life. So if you're a generator or you're a manifesting generator and you're like, I have this life force energy in my body, I have this battery, but I'm tired all the time, I'm exhausted, what are you talking about? That just means that you are using a lot of your energy in your life to do what you don't love in your life. So it can have a direct opposite effect for generators and manifesting generators. If they have this battery in their body and they're enslaved, because that tends to be what happens with generators and manifesting generators, is they become energetic slaves to other things in their life. That could be corporations or businesses or people or other people. Why? Because other people sense that they have this life force energy, this battery, and they're like, oh, why don't you come work for me? Or, hey, could you go pick up the groceries? Or could you go watch my cousin? Or could you go get your niece? They ask a lot for generators and manifesting generators. People ask a lot of them because they want to use up this life force energy. The key to being a successful generator and manifesting generator is to be enlightenedly selfish with your life. You are here to actually take back your energy and say, I'm here to do what I love in my life. And the more that I can actually put my energy towards what I love in my life, I am helping people. Why? Because the aura
Mm.
of the generator and the manifesting generator, when they're doing what they love in their life, their aura is actually spilling out into the auras of other people, and it's giving them more energy. It's like other people, other types love to be around generators and manifesting generators when they love doing what they love in their life. Why? Because they get activated. They're like, all of a sudden they feel like they have more energy. They're like, what? I feel good right now. What are you talking about? What do I love in my life? What do I want to do in my life? And in a way, you become that sort of beacon holder of that energy to inspire other people to do what they love as well. So that's the generator.
Tara is a Tara is a generator. Bing's one is a manifestor generator. Are there other generators joining us tonight? Okay, guys, we have to be energetically selfish, right?
Yes.
Permission to be selfish,
As much as
But it
possible.
makes so much sense. Yes, it makes so much sense, right, Jonas? Last time when we were employed, there's a lot of this energetically enslaved is such a great word. I'm going to steal it. I'm going to use it.
It's powerful, because it's just when you know that you can take back your energy in that
Mm,
space. And for manifesting generators, it's important to take, especially for manifesting generators, which we're about to talk about next. It's important to take energetic inventory of your life at least like once a month. Like, take a look at your life and be like, okay, where are all of my yeses right now? Where are all of my no's right now? Where can I pull my energy back from places that don't feel in alignment for me? It's not really where I want to be. And where can I create energetic space for something new to come in my life? And that's really
amazing.
the way that the divine is working with us. I'm going to add one more thing here with generators and manifesting generators, is we're actually the most magnetic by nature out of all of the types, meaning that the way that, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, God, source, universe, all that is, whatever, is trying to work with us, is it's actually constantly sending us things like, oh, do you like this? Do you like this? How about this? Do you want that? And all we're designed to do is kind of be present, breathe in our body, and notice when we feel that moment of expansion. Ooh, I like this thing that just came in. I want more of this. Let me go and do that. Or that contraction, like, I don't like this. I'm not going to go do that. That's the way that we're designed to have these energetic exchanges. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. See,
So,
the universe is constantly sending us stuff.
yeah, like a magnet.
Yes, but
Like we're
yeah,
magnets.
and this is quite important because most people, they thought they keep asking, but they didn't get the feedback. It's just that they don't aware that how they even work. So I think that's why, by uncovering this important layer, actually we can easily be in sync with the universe, the flow of the universe. So therefore, it's very powerful by just basically the five structures, the five types of the manifestors. I think it made me wanted to discover more.
Yeah.
I want to find out more.
Yeah, as Jen is talking, I'm thinking, where can I find time to study what is?
I'm going to provide a lot of great resources too, because part of my design personally is that I'm like a shortcuts person. Like, it's really easy for me to find the quickest way to learn something or to get something out there. So I do want to provide a lot of resources where people can like more easily understand their design. The first one is the jovianarchive.com, where you can pull that free body graph. The second thing I'll recommend to people is this app called My Human Design.
Mhm.
So My Human Design is really a fantastic application. I don't get anything for telling you guys this. I just personally have used it in my life, and it's so good to be able to have these little bite-sized audio of like your design to kind of give you throughout your day, and then in that way you more quickly can figure out what it is, how it is that you're designed to use your energy.
Brilliant. Okay, so shall we move on to the next one?
Yes. So we can talk about the manifesting generators now. So, like I mentioned right there at the beginning, the manifesting generator is a hybrid of two types: the manifestor, the first one we talked about, and the generator. And it's called a manifesting generator. It's the only hybrid out of the system. And that's about like 32% of the planet are manifesting generators. So, the way that it works for an MG, the three of us, is that yes, we have this open and enveloping auric field. That's true. When people feel us, we have everything that I just explained for the generator. Now, on top of that, we also have the manifestor side as well happening. So not only do we have this open and enveloping aura that helps us to make friends and connect with people, we're like a magnet to what we want, and all of these things, we're just really want to do what we love in our life. We also have this side of us that is very impactful, right? We do have the aura is the generator aura. It's open and enveloping. But it is true that we have these manifesting sides of us as well. Now, here's when it can get a little bit more tricky for the manifesting generator and understanding it, is some manifesting generators are what's called a pure manifesting generator. So that just means that you have a channel. Okay. So when I say channel, it means that It's a line in your body graph. If you're looking at your body graph right now, you're going to see all these lines and like short lines and long lines. The long lines are what's called a channel, and that connects the different chakras to each other. So if you're a pure manifesting generator, it means that you have the 34 to 20 channel, which means that you have the sacral that's connected to the throat. It goes right up to the throat chakra. So that means that you have more of this manifesting side as well in you, rather than just a regular MG. So when I see somebody's chart that has a pure manifesting generator, right away I realize, like, okay, this person also needs to inform in their life. So, if you're just a regular MG and you don't have that 34 to 20, that might not be as important. But if you're a pure manifesting generator and you do have more of this manifestor energy within you, you actually do need to inform. And it's more so because not that you have this closed energy to your aura, although sometimes it can feel like that to people. It's mostly because you just move faster than all of the types. So, as a manifesting generator, we are what I like to call, we're kind of like hoppy, is what I say. And that just means that you're just like kind of hoppy, like you're all like, you're just like wanting to go, wanting to do. You're like, especially when you're excited, like as an MG, forget it. Like people are like, where are you? Like you were just in that room, now you're over there. Like, I can't even like follow you. You're so fast. And that's just because we have this energy that's like, very excited. Like when we're excited, it's hard for us to sit still. It's hard for us to stay quiet because we're just like want to go. So for us,
Yep.
it's
The
most
trick is
important.
not to get excited. It's very tiring. Sorry. Go ahead,
It's
continue, please.
well, it's important though. This is where it's kind of gets like the trick to being a manifesting generator is to stay as present as possible. So that means that you are here to be, excited and talk and go and like have this extra energy. But the way that you are like really in alignment, where you're noticing the blessings that are coming in, the opportunities coming in, is to be present. So that's going to require a little bit of grounding. And when I did Paulynne's reading, part of what we talked about was Tai Chi, right? Or was it Qigong? Or we talked about, yeah, Tai Chi. And that's just really taking time, even a couple of minutes out of your day to kind of ground and get in the present moment, get connected with your five senses, and kind of be here now. And you'll notice, like, as a manifesting generator, when you take on that energy where you're just kind of present as much as you can be, you start realizing you're more in flow, because that's one thing that
Mm.
can trip you up is you get so excited that you just want to go. But like then you can actually miss steps and sort of miss things, and then you have to go back and kind of like relearn or go and figure something else out, that you might have missed along the way.
So I just want to add that Jen gave me a reading, and she gave me some strategies and advice on how to use my energy. So at first I was following the strategy like pretty much as prescribed. Okay, I must admit at first it didn't work for me because my days went to hell because the only thing I love to do in my life is to binge watch TV. So so that's no good. All right, but then after that I reread my notes, and she did send me the recording, so I was listening to it again, and I'm going like, okay, so what I'm going to do, because you guys know that this couple of months is like peak season for myself, Jonas, and basically every other parts practitioner out there, right? So it gets tiring because we spend the whole day sitting down on our desk, talking to people, and very focused. So I took Jen's strategy for me, and what I did was in between sessions, I usually have about a half hour break. So I started to do Tai Chi sets of eight in between. So I'm not doing the full, not that I learned the full, I only learned the first set. The first set. Okay, so I started doing rounds of eight, and it actually helps so much, so much, Jen. I can't begin to say how thankful I am for those suggestions. So
Yeah.
just to break and just to get back that energy, ground myself, I'm less tired. I have more. If without that, forget it. We're not doing the live stream tonight. because it's 10 p.m. It's pumpkin time. Okay. And guys, some good news. If you guys want to experience a reading with Jen, all right, Jen has generously provided my viewers with a special discount link in the video description. I'm putting it in the chat right now. Okay, Jen, continue with your sharing, please.
Yes. Okay. So we can move on to the next one, which is a projector. I do want to say, though, I am glad you are working and kind of playing with this energy, Paulynne, with your strategy and stuff like that, because I want to just say to everyone, too, this is actually called the human design experiment. So what does that mean? That just means that there's no dogma here or anything like that. It's just saying like, okay, this is what we have. This is our energetic blueprint. Let's play with this energy. Let's see, like, if I use my strategy and my authority every day, how does that feel to my energetic body? At the end of the day, do I have more energy? Is there more here that I have to give? Cool. And if something doesn't resonate, it's meant to be left behind. And there's also a piece there that I just want to quickly talk about, which is as manifesting generators and generators, you are here to do what you love in your life. Okay. And now that's deeply connected to desires in your life. Now it's really good to decipher what it is that brings you pleasure versus what it is that brings you joy. Okay. And that's two totally different things. So it's good to kind of navigate it like that and say, actually, like, sure, I can do what brings me pleasure all day and I can eat all the chocolate and binge watch all the TV. But is that what actually brings me joy from the inside,
Yes.
where I feel like my soul is like, yes, like I love this part of my life. So it's
Yes.
deciphering that difference is important too. Yeah.
Understand. I understand.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
cool.
Jonas, we need to do what we love.
Of course. So
What do you love?
now
What do you love?
doing consult and studying
Doing
all these
consult.
metaphysics and hopefully can, you know, help people
Mm,
to
mm,
uncover their power and also claim their own energy, like what Jen mentioned, because we may not even know how to use ourselves, and that's the worst thing ever. So I was like, yeah, by having the first awareness through our discovering our inborn energy. So I think it's an investment that totally worth everything, that
mm,
every penny that we are spending, because after all
mm.
it's our own energy that we need to know. At least we know how we can recharge ourselves back, and how we can re-strategize ourselves by doing the thing that we love, at the same time align with the universal energy, and how we can attract more. So I think this is the most fascinating things that a lot of people may miss out, and may not aware about this as well.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's
Mm.
move on to the projectors. I'm interested to hear about the projectors.
Yes, yes. So yeah, thank you for that reflection, Jonah. That makes a lot of sense. And I resonate with that. And I just want to tell people to, when you're understanding your design, just to allow it to be, it's actually a journey. It's like a journey to understanding your design. So at first you might want to feel like you want to understand it all right away, but just let yourself keep learning more and more, integrating more and more. And then in like a year's time, you'll realize how far you've come to. Um,
True.
so I just, yes. So for projectors, they're about 22% of the population. And so back to that aura, right? So what is their aura like? Their aura is called penetrating and focused. This just means that literally their aura, by nature, it goes into the auras of other people and it looks at them. So they have a very unique auric field. It makes them very good at being able to see people, and not just people, but systems, businesses, all kinds of things very, very clearly. And they're able to be very efficient at seeing what it is that can be changed in order to become better at something. So by nature, a lot of times projectors end up becoming guides in some way. And that doesn't mean that you have to become a therapist or you have to become a project manager or something like that. It just means that by nature, your energy is always going into things and looking at it in a different way than most people do. And you're able to provide this very unique perspective on what it is that you're seeing. Lots of times projectors can see something. And when they share what they see, a lot of people are kind of like, what did you just say? Because they've never heard it like that before, you know, and it's
Mm.
interesting to people. It's like, I didn't think about it like that, or I didn't know that about myself. So thank you for sharing that reflection. The only thing that projectors can come up against a lot of times is their life. In their life is that they have this natural, innate way of seeing everything around them. A lot of times they can have a block with seeing themselves. And so they have to start creating a practice of really understanding how to recognize themselves in situations. I always recommend projectors have what's called like a recognizing themselves type of journal or notepad in their phone, where anytime they do something good or interesting, or they're kind of impressed on how they showed up in a way, they write that down, because then they're able to keep coming back to themselves and saying, oh yeah, like this is why I'm good at this, or this is why I'm great. They have these amazing seeing gifts about things. But sometimes they can have that blind spot with themselves. And so it's important to have that practice of recognition. The other thing I just want to add really quickly to that is that they also have this strategy of waiting for the invitation. So if you're somebody who's looking at your chart and you see that your strategy is waiting for the invitation, many projectors immediately are like, what? Like, I'm supposed to wait for something? What are you talking about? And what I like to just encourage immediately is that actually this is really trying to help you. It's trying to save you time, energy, all of that on your life. This is just telling you that your way of doing life, your strategy of doing life, is to actually wait for someone to kind of invite you into something. Now, it doesn't mean that somebody has to verbally say something like, can you tell me what you see in my relationship? Or can you tell me what you see in me? Although that's helpful, it's more so just energetic invitation, where everybody knows when it kind of feels like your friend wants you to share. And they're kind of like, wait, like you can feel that energy is very open, like they want you to share. As a projector, that's really what you're waiting for. To kind of wait, here's why. Because a lot of projectors can share what they see all the time, and they can meet a lot of resistance from people. People can actually become a little bit repelled by them because they aren't ready to hear that truth about themselves. They aren't ready to hear something so true about them, and maybe even their soul isn't ready for that truth yet. So what I tell projectors is that it's more so about realizing that the things that you say, the things that you share are so valuable. They're actually meant to change the trajectory of someone's life, or change the trajectory of someone's business or system or the way that it works. So you're not really designed to be sharing, you know, what we call here like willy-nilly, meaning like just whatever, like you're just saying it like blah, like this is what I think. If you do that, you're actually going to feel so tired at the end of the day, because you're going to feel like you've wasted so much energy trying to tell everybody what you see. And most people are just like, don't even want to hear it. And then you end up shifting into your not self theme, which is another part of your design, which is like this bitterness, where it feels like people don't appreciate me. They're not hearing me. They don't see me. Why am I wasting my time on people? They're so stupid. Where actually you have a lot of wisdom. And it's important to wait until people sort of invite you into that share before you do share. Now, that I do want to add one thing to that, which is that that's more of like on a personal level, right? Like with friends and family. Now, when it comes to business, projectors do very well in positions where they're supposed to share what they see that's wrong. So like project managers or people who like come in and are their guides, let's say they're therapists, they're psychiatrists, they're people who receive an invitation all the time on the daily to say, hey, come here, what do you see? They're inspectors and stuff like that. And so it feels energetically correct for them to go into buildings or restaurants or things and say, hey, this is not to code, or this isn't right, or it's energetically correct for them to sit down with a patient and be like, okay, listen, like this is what I see is going on with you. So that's where they do really well in business. So that's the projector.
Nice. Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Awesome. So yeah. So the last one, do you have a question, Jonah? No.
Nope.
Okay. Okay.
Thinking
So
how to use it.
what was that?
He's thinking how to use it.
Oh. So the last one is the reflector. So the reflectors are actually only 1% of the population. It's very rare to see a reflector.
Correct.
I've done very many readings for reflectors. I have, but it's so rare that it's like, 12 times a year or something for me. It's like very rare. So with reflectors, they have a very unique energy as well. So with reflectors, their auric field is called sampling and resistant. This means that the way that their aura works is they have completely open chakras. So if you're somebody who happens to be on this and you look at this, if you're watching it right now or even later, and you pull your chart and you see that you're a reflector, one of the first things you're going to notice in your body graph, so not that top part that I was talking about, but the rest of your chart, is that all of your chakras are empty, meaning they don't have any definition. Well, and when I say definition, I mean color, like they're not filled in by any color. And so all that's saying is that you have completely open centers in your chart, meaning that when you're walking around, your energy is naturally sampling and resisting everything around it. So it's interesting because reflectors are the most unique from each other than any of the other types. Like usually I can kind of feel the energy of an MG or a generator, but a reflector, it's like every time I've met with a reflector, they're so different from like the last reflector that I've met. They could be the most badass business guy or business lady making millions, or they could be the most quiet, woman at home that just likes to make herbal teas. It's just, they're so different from each other. But really this energy is just that it's meant to sample and resist everything around them. So their environment is actually extremely important in their life. And human design goes as far as to say that their environment can literally lead them to their life's purpose, or like their soul calling in life, because everywhere they go, think about that. Like everywhere you go, your entire body is taking in the energy of the room and it's sampling like, I like this, or it's resisting, I don't like this, by nature. And the way that to me, it looks is kind of like a watermill. So that's the way it kind of looks to my mind, is kind of like a watermill, where like everywhere they go, they're just kind of flowing through life, right? And like as they're going, they're picking up a little bit of energy everywhere they go, like the watermill picks up water. The most important part of being a reflector is to remember that you are a reflector. You're designed to release that energy at some point, the same way that the watermill releases the water to keep flowing. So if you are a reflector and you feel that you're stuck in your life ever, it's because that your watermill is not flowing anymore. You've actually held on to some kind of energy somewhere in your life, maybe at a concert or at a business meeting or at your family get together. You held on to something there, and now you're like, this is me now, and this is who I am. And you're holding on to something that actually is meant to be released. So the biggest practice for you is getting yourself in new environments all the time and constantly moving yourself around new people, new experiences, so that you can keep sampling and resisting the energy around you. So they're so unique and they're so interesting. It's kind of like the unicorn of human design is being a reflector. But it is a really powerful design to have. You could be anything. Anybody could be anything, but really reflectors are like, you can just do anything with your life because you're so open, and you can literally take on these energies and become different people and different energies so easily. So it's really fascinating to see a reflector in real life.
Jonas, question?
I'm still trying to understand because, it's like so adaptive. Like to me, it's like, the rainwater, the gui water, they are so adaptive and they can, absorb and react and morph into something else. But It is sounds really fascinating because I never thought about it from this perspective. I
I
still
I
need time
have
to
a
understand.
I had a consult this afternoon, and it was so funny. The whole
Mm.
topic of the conversation was to convince the Grey Water that she's not crazy, she's not bipolar, she's just Grey Water. Because she's like, why am I so temperamental? Just accept it, okay? This is you. I think I have split personality. No, 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 you don't have split personality. I think I have autism. No, no, you don't have autism. Okay, you're just Grey Water. Right. Hi, Linda. Good morning. Okay, Linda saying that this is so interesting. Interesting, leh. If not interesting, of course we do live stream for what, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes. What next? Jen, you guide us.
So, really, I'm feeling like, are there any questions anybody might have? I mean, what we just did right now was super basic. We really just went through, like I mentioned, when you look at your chart, that top part of your chart is your energy type and your strategy. So that's really the two things we kind of did is we looked at your
Mm,
energy type, which one are you out of the five? And then we looked at your strategy. And then I just want to mention that if your energy type is directly connected to your strategy, so every single manifestor, their strategy is going to be to inform. Every single generator and manifesting generator, their strategy is to respond, right? Like be present and respond to what's coming in around them. And then
mm,
every projector, your strategy is going to be waiting for the invitation. And then every reflector, it's to wait a lunar cycle, meaning that you're kind of not somebody who's meant to make a decision right in the moment. You can if it's a small decision, but generally you're meant to wait to kind of, because your body's so open, and then the wisdom's going to come and the answer is going to come within a 26-day moon cycle. That gets a little bit deeper. But really, that's really what I want to say there. And then the third part that I would invite people to start to look at once you've got your chart is your authority. Okay, so that's going to be like the third thing you see at the top of your chart. Energy type, strategy, but then authority. And your authority is going to change depending on it can change. So you can have emotional authority and be most of the types. Okay. So it's just about knowing that the authority piece is something that's going to change with all of the types. And it's important to know that too. That's actually just telling you how you're designed to make decisions in your life. It's very helpful.
mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think if there's like another aspect that you can start to get into right away. Um, I feel like most people probably are wondering what the rest of the chart is. And I can kind of briefly go through that. But I don't know how much time we have or if you want to open it up to anybody
Or
asking.
perhaps you can do some sample charts
The
to
floor is
demo.
the floor. Hey, you are in sync with me. I'm about to do a sample chart.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
think
see.
that's the best way to demo to showcase how the reading
Yes,
are
yes,
done.
yes. I'm
So
I'm 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 doing one. I'm doing one.
yeah,
Let's
otherwise.
use today. Let's use today. Okay.
Okay, yes, good.
Let's annoy the app and let's use today. Okay.
Hmm.
And guys, while we're doing this, how about you guys, if you have any questions and stuff like that, please feel free. Okay. It's now 22:53. 22:53 Malaysia. Okay.
By the way, Jen,
Kuala Lumpur.
will you also be, doing some rituals related, using the Kabbalah because the tree of life is also involving, like, bending and tilting our energy when there are certain chakra or block.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting because I would say probably not.
Mm.
But that's just because it's part of it's a piece of the overall design. So when you say like doing ritual around it, what do you mean exactly? Just so I understand.
Yeah, because in Kabbalah, we can use on certain date, certain energy to increase certain or unblock certain aura, which is, let's say for our sacral chakra or our heart chakra. maybe we can use certain days to do some chanting to increase the certain vibrations in particular chakra.
You know, I didn't know that about the Kabbalah
Mm.
tree of life, and I knew that there were certain things that took place, but I've never dove deep enough into that aspect. But I would say probably yes, like that would be super epic and probably pretty strong for a person, especially if they're connected to that energy. Like if they're connected to, you know, the Kabbalah tree of life and understanding what that is and they want to use that, I would say go for it. Like that's probably definitely something that would help. Um, but yeah, that's there's so many different aspects to the design. That is this today's date?
Yep. Right
Oh,
now.
cool. Oh, right now. Oh, neat. So this is so a manifestor is very rare. That's very rare to have a manifestor pull up because that's only 8% of the population. So this is like a closed aura, right? It's closed and impactful. So the information here is informing. So one thing to look at on the chart is that there is the defined throat center. So one thing I always notice, like one of the first things I notice is that defined throat center, like 3 chakras down. So like anytime somebody has that defined throat center like that, I mean, that's great for, you know, speaking and expressing what it is that you are designed, what it is that some of your gifts are, or whatever it is, you just have a strong throat chakra. So it's interesting too, because this is just a side fact, which is that most manifestors, they are the only type in human design where when you tell them what their strategy is, let's say to inform, they are against it. They're like, I don't want to do that. They're like, I don't want to talk. Like, I don't want to tell people what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. Now, sometimes, depending if you have some strong like Gemini placements, like sometimes some manifestors are like, oh yeah, I like talking. Like I like, you know, saying what's on my mind, or I have no problem expressing. But sometimes, a lot of times you get manifestors that are not connected to informing. So it's like becomes a practice of exercising that throat chakra and speaking and saying what it is that you have going on. This chart in and of itself is super unique. And the other thing I just want to mention is understanding the not self theme. So that's something that someone else can see on their chart there, the not self theme. And really, that's just a signpost to you to try to get you to understand when you're not in alignment in your life. So it's not like a punishment from the universe or anything like that. It's really just like telling you, hey, when you're not in alignment, when you're like totally, you've lost the fucking plot in your life, like you just don't know what you're doing and you're totally off your game, you're going to feel anger. Okay. So that's going to be the primary emotion that you feel. And when you feel these bouts of anger, and that can show up in any way, right? It can show up by crying, screaming, raging, yelling, whatever. But you will feel this anger overwhelm you. And it's because you're just so not in alignment in your life. So as a manifestor, typically that's going to be like, where aren't you informing in your life? Like, where have you totally closed your throat chakra and you're not speaking? You're not saying anything to anybody. And you're not telling anyone what's going on with you. And so people don't understand you. And so you feel backed in a corner. You feel like people are trying to control you, but that's really not the case. You're just haven't been telling people anything for a really long time. And now you're shifted into your not self theme. One thing I want to point out here too is, let's see here. So yes. So when you're looking at,
What do you?
oh, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So when you're looking at the rest of the chart, I actually want to pull it up on mine too, because for some reason I'm having a hard time seeing it. But you just use
Because it's
today's
too
date,
small.
right?
Yeah. Today's date, but Malaysian time. I used the Malaysian time. It was 22:53.
Oh, cool. Okay. So I even had to look to see what month it is because I feel like I don't even know what month it is. Oh boy. Okay. So yeah, just bear with me for 1 second.
No problem.
Get this up. Yeah, I like what Curtis said though in the chat. He said, I have a projector aura, and this description has been my loved experience.
I think he edited. It says lived and loved. His lived and loved experience. Nice.
Yeah, so that's really good to hear, especially from a projector.
And Linda is saying, Pauline, please invite Jen back. Will do, will do.
Yes,
If she's game for it, we're gonna do it again.
I would love that. Okay, I've got it now. Yay. Okay, neat. Okay, so I think what I'd like to do too is just explain to people when you're looking at the rest of the chart here, it's about just understanding the first basics, which is that you're looking at a 9 center chakra system. Okay, so starting with the crown at the top, the
Mm,
ajna, the second one there, that's basically the brain, the physical brain. And then the third one down is that throat center. Right down in the fourth one down is called the G center. And
mhm,
then if you go
mhm,
straight to the, I guess you could say the right or the left, depending, that little triangular piece there is called the ego. And then right part there in the belly is called the sacral. And then underneath the sacral is that bottom box there, and that's called the root. And then those, the one to the right side is called the solar plexus in human design, and the left side of the chart is called the spleen. So that's the different chakra system here. And see where it says inner authority on the right hand side, and it says splenic. Okay, so everybody's inner authority is going to be different. This is the part that changes that I was talking about. It's not the same as like energy type strategies, kind of like going to give you the same thing. The authority is going to change. So if you have splenic authority, for example, it just means that you're somebody who's here to make decisions using the energy of the spleen. And that sounds kind of like, what does that mean? When you think about the spleen is the part of you that is holds the senses. So it's very connected to intuition, also fear, survival. So it has, people with splenic authority, they're very keen to saying things like, that smells like BS, or like I smell a rat in the room. Like they always use this terminology that is directly connected to the senses. Or, yeah, I don't know, I didn't like that. It left a bad taste in my mouth. They always say things like that because they're very connected to the senses and to the way things are happening in their body in the form of a sense. So that's actually their strongest way to make decisions, is to use this sense of things. So a lot of times this manifests as like the whisper. For example, people talk about that inner whisper. Like if you're sometimes you're watching things and somebody's like, I just, something told me like not to do that. This inner voice that says like, don't go and do that right now. Those people with splenic authority are very connected to the whisper, and they know, like, as soon as I tell people with splenic authority, like the whisper and like that leaves a bad taste in my mouth, they're like, oh my God, like I say that all the time. They're like deeply connected to it. They're like, duh, like, oh my God, yeah. So they're, or that smells like BS or whatever. And so they're like, I say that like so much. And it's just because they're connected to the senses so deeply. And so for them, it's important to let that guide them. But see, when we're born, nobody's going to tell you that when you're born. Nobody's going to tell you when you go to make decisions, connect to your senses and see what your senses are telling you to do. They're going to say, what is your mind telling you to do? Make good decisions with your head, right? Well, this is saying the opposite. This is saying, actually, you're somebody who has splenic authority and you're here to make decisions with your senses. So for them, it requires a lot of deconditioning, deprogramming of the way that they've been taught to do life, and to make decisions in a better way. Mm.
So I'm just inviting everyone. Of course, we can't do everyone, but if you want a quick read by Jen, right? Give it to us in the chat. Your date and time of birth, along with the birth location. Okay, the system requires the location, right? So the city and the country. So um I mean, you get a human design expert here. If I were you guys, I would faster la la lam, So, you know, just from this is a sample chart, and we were being naughty, we were just doing like 2 days right now. Okay, so it seems like any baby born at this minute is going to have this. So I don't know, maybe the parents might see this and go, hey, my kid was born at that time. Okay, so guys, if you guys are interested, all right, okay, here we go. Jared, yeah,
Okay.
suddenly say free reading, yeah. Suddenly say free reading, the chat comes alive, So Jared from Manila.
Okay, yay. So, is his birthday really today?
Yeah, I think so. Happy birthday, Jared.
Wow.
Jared, happy birthday.
Happy
I'll try not to
birthday.
sing. I'll try not to sing. Okay. That might scare you and then ruin your birthday.
That's hilarious. Okay,
What a
so
birthday gift. What a very unique birthday gift.
Yes, what a birthday gift.
I'm so bad with military time. What time when it's 19? Okay.
7:21 p.m.
Duh. Okay. Thank you. 7:21
Hi,
p.m.
Chloe. Hi, Ray. Chloe, tonight we're doing human design. Cannot be swaku always patsu all the time. Not you, I have to explore other things as well.
Okay. So, okay, got it. Manila,
Philippines.
got it. Would it say like Quezon City?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And you said 7:21 p.m., right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Wow. Okay. So
Wow.
this is neat. Okay, so Jared is a 5-1 generator, okay, with emotional authority. So that's kind of like the basics of saying something like, what is your type? Jared would say, I'm a 5-1 generator with emotional, I'm a 5-1 emotional generator, is how people usually will explain their types. But the first thing I notice is that Jared has almost every single chakra in his body chart defined. So that's very unique, actually. He only has his crown open. That just means that tells me off the bat before even going into his chart that he's somebody who has a lot of energy and a lot of things to give in this world. He's designed to be somebody who has this energy coming out, and there's a lot that he wants to do, put into, because he has so much energy within his chart. He only has one chakra out of the 9 that's open, which is very rare to see. Usually there's at least 2 open. So off the bat, he's somebody who has a lot of his own energy, his own gifts, his own individual expression that he's here to give to the world. As a generator, he's somebody who has this open and enveloping aura. That means, Jared, when people meet you, they feel comfortable around you. They feel like they want to talk to you. It feels good. You do have this emotional authority, which just means you're not designed to make decisions in the now. People with emotional authority, they constantly have this emotional wave happening all the time in the background. And what that means is that it's connected to your gifts, which we would go into a reading if you wanted to go deeper there. But the emotional authority is really about knowing that you constantly have this I want to say, in human design, they say there's no clarity in the now, that there's kind of this filter where you always see things in like rose lens glasses, where it always seems like everything is great. Or else sometimes you could see things in a little bit of a darker view, where it's like you kind of might get a little pessimistic about things. You're kind of like, nah, no. Like, so the reason why, though, it's actually really fascinating to see people with emotional authority, because it shows that they have these beautiful gifts within their chart, which I can see you have several of these. You actually have 2 emotional waves in your chart. There's a total of 4 emotional waves. You have 2 of the 4. So this just says that for you, because you're constantly first seeing things through this emotional perspective, you're not really designed to make decisions right in the moment. So what does that mean? That means that the rest of society wants you to decide right now what you want. They want you to RSVP to the wedding right now. They want you to say yes or no to this job position right now. It's very hard for people with emotional authority to hold their own and be like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do that. Let me get back to you. That's really going to be like something you always want to keep in your pocket, to say things like that. Or somebody might ask you about something like, hey, Jared, do you want to come and do this thing? For you, it's really important to just be like, let me just think on it and let me get back to you in like tomorrow. I'll shoot you a text. Any way that you can avoid like having to make decisions in the moment is going to be really beautiful for you. And the big reason why is because, especially because you have what's called the channel of mating in human design, which just means that you are somebody who people want to create with you. They want to connect with you. They want to, you know, go. And it's when we talk about creation, we can definitely be talking about like babies, but like really, I mean, we could be talking about businesses too, and collaboration. So when people meet Jared, they're like, hey, let's go, come and join this team, this sports team, come and join this collaboration with this thing. And for him, it can feel kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that though. Or you might feel really excited in the moment because you're around that person. That's what that channel does. It makes you feel like you want to say yes to everybody around you. But for you, the key moment is to say, let me get back to you. Let me think on it and let me get back to you. Or else you're going to end up jumping into situations that is too fast. And that can be, you know, jumping into bed, like metaphorically or physically, like, you know, but it's really just about knowing to have that pause and say, wait a minute, let me like get back to you. I'm not sure. And then allow your emotional wave to calm. And that usually happens within 48 hours. You come to a state of neutrality and you're able to think about that, that new opportunity that came in, that new job opportunity, that new collaboration. And you're able to take a beat and be like, do I really want that? And feel into your body, like as a generator, do I feel expanded to that? Or do I feel contracted to that opportunity? Ooh, I feel expanded to that. That's a yes. Let me call that person. Well, let's get this business going. Let's get the loan. Let's do the thing. But it's about having that pause is going to save you a lot of heartache in your life from jumping into situations too soon, with that emotional authority. Trying to see if there's more here that we can dive into.
I
So
want to compliment that. May I?
Oh yes,
Since
please.
it's his birthday. May I? Okay. Jared, this one for you, birthday present. Okay. Because Janet talks about having a pause. See, now you have human design and bazi reading. Okay. Happy birthday. Okay. So, yes, because there is a tendency to jump in this 7 killings in the hour. That clashes to the day is a mindset that is constantly easily put FOMO. If I don't say yes, what if I miss out? This is the feeling that Jen is also talking about. So it's good to have a pause because this chart it's easily stressed and triggered by people because you're very capable, you're extremely tough, and you think that it's okay, like I take it on, I can do it. So this pause that Jen is talking about is really going to be very helpful for you just to get back that equilibrium, right, before you make a decision. Okay, so that's two in one for you.
Yeah, it's so good.
Do you want to continue with Jared, or up to you? Up to seriously up to you. Maybe
Yeah,
we
I
take
mean,
one more and then we'll close. Jen, there are a couple in the chat. Why don't you pick?
sure.
Uh,
Well, whichever one came after Jared, I should probably.
that would be Ray.
Okay, so let's go in that order and look to see. Okay, so
January 12th, 1987. 11:58 p.m.
January 12th, 1987.
11:58 p.m.
Okay. 11.
And like Jared, Manila, Philippines.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. 50 p.m. Manila. Got it. I just want to make sure I have it. 1987. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Got it. Okay. Cool. So, Ray is a manifesting generator with emotional authority, and she's or is it he or she? I don't know.
No clue.
Okay, is a 2-4. So this is how you would express your human design. If you're talking to someone, you would say, I'm a 2-4 emotional manifesting generator. And that way people know like, oh, okay, like it's really helpful too, to know people's designs when you're working with them, because you know how to interact with them a little bit better, especially with projectors, like you know how to invite them and stuff like that. But you are a manifesting generator. So it goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning. I'm not sure if you were on at that time. But we're talking about how the manifesting generators, and all three of us, Jonah, Paulynne, and myself, we're all manifesting generators. So this is a combination. This is only hybrid in the entire system of both manifestor and generator. So all this is really saying is you're somebody who has an open and enveloping aura. Yes, like people, when they meet you, they connect with you, they want to get to know you, it feels connected. But there's something else within your energy that's really lighting up in a very powerful, impactful, manifestor-like way when you're doing what you love in your life. So Paulynne, I was very, very lit up by Paulynne when I met her, because I can tell that Paulynne loves what she does for her job. She genuinely loves what she does. So it was so easy for me to feel her and to be like, oh my God, like she's talking about everything to do with the charts and everything that she does. And I felt excited about what she does, even though I have no idea. Like, I'm not sure what she does for her job. I have an idea, but just her talking about it and just me hearing her talk about it, I was like so lit up by the conversation that like when we got off of the camera, I was like, wow, I was like, what do I want to do right now? I just felt so good. So that's the impact that you make as a manifesting generator. But it does require you to be a little bit enlightenedly selfish with your life, right? Because you do have this defined sacral center, which means that you're prone to energetic enslavement, meaning that in your life, you may have experienced a lot of people asking things from you a lot. They want you to give up some of that life force energy and help them with something, help them build their business, help them, do this or that. So it's up to you to just kind of say like, I have no problem working for somebody else's business, but do I love what I do? Do I absolutely like, if it lights me up to put my energy into this person's project? If that's true for you, then go and do that thing. Like by all means, like you have green light, go, all the permission to go and do it. So as a manifesting generator, just knowing what you love, being connected to your desires, asking yourself, what do I love in my life? And like letting yourself follow those breadcrumbs, because following that excitement, following what brings you that inner joy, that's going to bring you to your life's purpose. It's going to bring you to what you're designed to be doing in your life and to do what you love. And then you just keep creating more and more energy. And you're like, oh, I love what I do. And just, you can get really excited about it. And it really helps other people to get excited too. Like Jared, you have the emotional authority as well. So for you, you have one of the emotional waves. So it's just important for you have the emotional wave that's called emotional highs and lows. So for you, it can really feel like it's everything that I said about Jared, being sure, yes, to take that pause before decisions, but more so for you, understanding that your specific wave is tied to highs and lows, which means that you can get very like, wow, feel so good about something. And then somebody can say something to you or something can happen to you and you can immediately just be like in the dumps for like the next like 20 minutes. You could be like, whatever, like F life, I'm so over it. And then something else can happen and you can go right back up within a couple of minutes sometimes. So it's just important to honor this and to realize that this is a gift. Before you came here, you wanted to have emotional authority. You wanted to feel these different emotions that human beings have. It's interesting to you. So allow yourself to be that, and don't shame yourself for feeling like, oh man, I have to be this neutral energy all of the time. I got to be cool. I got to be collected. I can't like have these emotional extremes. You're designed to have that and to let yourself go through these different emotional waves and not feel suppressed by that energy. Another big part of your design is the fact that you have, as a manifesting generator, you have the 2-4. So I'm inherently jealous of 2-4s. Like 2-4s are fabulous. And the reason why is because you, by nature, 2-4s are called the easy breezy genius. So this means that you are just somebody who, by nature, you know how to do things and it seems really cool and easy to other people. Like to you, it might not always feel
Hey, wow. Wow.
so good for them, right? Like 2-4s. Oprah, for example, is a 2-4. And when we see Oprah, we're like, dang, like she just gets up there, she does it. She doesn't ever seem like she's trying. She doesn't ever seem weird. You never get any awkward moments from Oprah. She always just seems like she's doing her thing. Like even if you watch clips from Oprah from when she's like in her early 20s and stuff, you're just like, she just seems like she's doing the damn thing. And that's what it's like for 2-4s. They have this easy breezy genius vibe where they're just like, I'm just running through life and I'm doing it. But for you, you have to be careful because there's the 2-4, the 2 means that you are a natural. That's why Oprah's good at what she does. She's just natural. Now, it also means that you have a hermit side being the 2. You have to be alone. And Oprah's talked openly about that, how sometimes she has like a farm in the middle of nowhere and she just has to go off and be alone. So for you, you're always going to have that. You're going to have those moments where you feel like you need to be by yourself. It doesn't mean you're depressed or you're emo or like you're whatever. It just means that you just need a break from life, and that's okay. So honoring that. Now the 4, because I said you're a 2-4, the 4 side of you, it makes you somebody who is a people person. You want to connect with people. You're social. There's a part of you that recognizes the people that you know are somehow the opportunities in your life come through the people that you know. So people who have 4 lines in their personality profile, I always tell them that it's kind of like that old saying that's like, your network is equal to your net worth. That's true for you. So it's important. You're designed to be a little bit stuck up about who you hang out with, because you're not designed to be around just anybody. You're designed to be around people who are like going to help you get to where you want to go, or you feel like you have this sort of connection with them and it feels like a network, like you're going to, like your opportunities for you come through your friend of your friend of your friend. It's like a web. Just imagine it like a web. So for you, the trick is your life, you're going to sometimes feel like you're the hermit, right? Like you're alone. You just want to be yourself. You're a loner. You're a lone wolf. You just want to be alone. And then the 4 side of you is going to tell you, no, we're social. We want to go out. We want to talk to people. We want to network. But sometimes when you're a 2-4, you let the 2 override the 4. And you say, oh no, we don't want to talk to people. We like to be alone. We just want to be alone. But you have to remember, like, actually, you're a 4 too, as well. So you have to let yourself go out there, talk to people, and be connected. It's just about doing it when it feels like you want to. So you have those moments where you feel like you want to network, you want to go to that networking event. It feels exciting to you. As a manifesting generator, you feel exciting about going to this networking event. That means that's a soul yes. If you feel contracted, that might be a no for now. So yeah, so that's being a 2-4 emotional
That's
manifester.
it for Ray. Can't plot bazi chart. Sorry, don't know gender.
Yes. That's so
So
interesting.
cannot.
You cannot.
Okay, I cannot because there's no gender, so I can't plot I can't plot the bazi chart without a gender. Okay,
Oh, that's
so
so
I think
interesting.
Yeah, I just said thank you very much. Everything is on point. Excellent. Right?
Uh,
I'm a she, he. Now you tell. Okay. All right. So we're gonna sign off pretty soon because it's like 11:30 already. Thank you, Jen, for
mm,
spending all this time and for sharing all this with everyone and with me. I'm fascinated. I'm really am. Okay. Jonas, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's I just getting warm up. I was trying to capture as much as possible. It seems like it was way more than what I used to know about the human design. I didn't know it could be this deep.
It's
yes.
amazing. It is because
Yeah.
it's teaching you. It's like when Jen was giving me her my reading, I was
Mm.
thinking like, okay, this is how while on the one hand we're always teaching how people how to use your chart. This is how you use your chart. This is what you have, right? And
Yes.
this is what she's doing. This is how you use your energy. This is what you know you if you are what's the first one, the manifestor, you need to inform, you need to tell, because nobody knows,
Yes.
and if you're a manifesting generator, you gotta know what you love, and it's something that you need to find out for yourself. And please don't confuse loving something with watching TV. But I truly still do love watching TV.
Maybe that
It
brings
brings
you
so much
joy,
joy.
which would be so true.
Yeah, so all right, thank you, Jen, thank you again, thank you, Jonas, for the surprise visit. All right, thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this until next month when I will have another interesting guest. All right, I'll see you guys next week on Talk 3 Talk 4. Okay, so don't go anywhere. All right, thank you.
All right,
Good
bye.
night. Okay, let me end the stream. Good night.